Dr. Howard, can you tell me a little bit about your journey, your educational journey, your professional journey, where you've worked, where you studied, and then where do you see now? How long have you been at Colby? Kind of, are you going to retire there?
Yeah. So I went to high school at Bardstown High School in Bardstown, Kentucky, and from poverty, thought I was going to be in the military. I was joined the, I had all plans, and then and I had a teacher who said there was this college that didn't charge tuition and was for kids like me and low income students and so forth. And really, even though at one point I lived just a few miles from Berea College, not very far, I didn't know about Berea. I didn't know about any other kind of colleges other than UK or U of L or something like that for sports and things like that. But I didn't, because we didn't have really college counseling in my high school that, they really pushed the military, but not higher ed. And then I applied here and got it and decided to do the Army Reserves instead of full time because, to be honest, I think in the back of my mind, I didn't think I was actually going to finish college, so I needed a backup plan. So I needed to have the Army as kind of like the backup plan. And those were kind of the two kind of best known kind of pathways out of poverty, either the military or college. And I was like, why not, include both?
Do both. Yeah.
So anyway, so I came here and had a pretty tough first year, just transitioning to college. I wasn't really academically prepared. And one of the things I have written about and so forth in my own kind of not just autobiographical kind of research, but I have actually studied this kind of topic of low-income students, college students, and what it takes to kind of stay in college and retention and all of that stuff. And the one thing that led me to college was mentoring, but then I didn't have a mentor at the very beginning because Berea, like other places, don't have that as kind of the system. Fortunately, I found Dr. Janet Fortune in the education department as kind of a mentor, and I mean, she is what helped me graduate. Her mentoring and so forth, because I needed that. I needed to kind of have that support and so forth. But then in between it took 4.5 years to graduate because I did student teaching in my last semester. So that summer, in between, my senior year and my other second senior year, I did this program called Summer Bridge, which was for low-income kind of students. And there was a alum from Harvard who then nominated me as kind of a minority, being Appalachian. And Harvard reached out, and I got this letter saying, "Please apply," and I did, and remarkably got accepted. And so my life kind of changed at the moment. I thought I would always I was committed to teaching public schools in Eastern Kentucky, and suddenly now I'm going off to Cambridge, Massachusetts, for graduate school. And when I went to graduate school, I really discovered the love for the study of education, theory, research, etc. And it was at that moment that I was like, okay, I want to teach high school for a little bit, but I want to become a professor eventually. And so after I left, I did teach high school, but also became the director of that program that I had been just a regular teacher at when I was here in Cincinnati, and did that for 3 years while I worked on my doctorate. And then my first kind of professor job was at Antioch College, which I loved its history of being kind of a progressive, alternative kind of college founded by Horace Mann, who famously said in the graduation, which was the kind of motto, be ashamed to die until you've won some victory for humanity, and so it had that kind of social justice-y type of thing, which was aligned with my own kind of values and so forth. But, it also had a lot of financial problems, and it was kind of a tough place to be because of those things. It eventually closed for a little bit because of the financial problems. So after I got tenure, before it closed down, thank goodness, got tenure there, I was like, I want to just go off to this, like a normal liberal arts college, just and see what it's like. Maybe I would like that, where at Antioch you didn't have to give grades, but at Colby you do, just where you have to give grades and you're going to get your paycheck and all that other stuff. Okay. So they had a 1-year kind of visiting position at Colby in Maine, and I was like, yeah, I'll go up to Maine for a year. Did it and absolutely fell in love with the institution and my department. My department has a very explicit kind of commitment to social justice, and on campus at the time was kind of the leaders on campus for social justice-y kind of efforts and commitment, and kind of we've always had the largest kind of percentage, more than most other departments, and more than the overall college, of students of color and low-income students. And so, I mean, it's just like there was a lot of good stuff there. But they didn't have a full-time job until like 4 years later. And I did come back in a tenure. In between, I came back to Antioch for 1 year, where I was Associate Dean of Faculty. Decided that is not the path I wanted to take in my career. I wanted to stay a professor. So I was at Hanover College in Indiana for 3 years until kind of the Colby position opened. And so that's been in 2018 or 2008 is when I came back in tenure track. Got tenure, got promoted to full, got endowed chair of the department, and absolutely loving it there. I will for certain retire from there. But I've always, scholarship and research has been an important part of my life, and that sometimes doesn't align well with what liberal arts colleges need, because they need a lot of service and teaching and so forth. And what I've really loved about Colby is that they really do value scholarship and give you the resources and the time and all of that in order to do that. And so I've not only been able to kind of grow and I'm sure continue to grow as an educator, but also as a scholar and a researcher at this place, which I feel incredibly grateful for.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you
Appreciate
so much.
Yeah.